Would you like to know how to use QR codes to build your list, drive traffic to your site, and close sales? Yeah, I bet you would. I'm really excited for this session. It's going to be a really fun one. I want to just give you a heads up. You need to make sure you have a QR code scanner on your smartphone before we get going, because there's going to be live QR code demos in this presentation. And of course, you can go through this and learn without doing, but I promise you, you're going to get a lot more out of this if you can see how these work and how cool they are. So make sure you've got a good QR code scanner on your smartphone. Be sure to get a good one. I have had my previous phone, I had a QR code scanner on it that just did not work well at all. I didn't realize that there was tons of different kinds of barcode scanner software apps, and maybe for my old phone there wasn't, but anyway, it was really painful to scan a code, so I almost never did. Now that I have a really good phone and a really good scanner, it's a whole other world. So I would suggest you do that. If you're looking for one in particular, I like ScanLife. This is the screen capture from the Android app, but you can also get it on iPhone, I know, as well. One thing I want you to watch out for is that some barcode scanners, QR code scanners, whatever, will put ads in what they show you. So you're going to be thinking that everything you scan has an ad in it, and the reality is it's your scanner that's putting them in there. So be careful for that. Okay, so get your QR code scanners ready. We'll be getting started with that portion of the program in just a minute. I just want to remind you from the previous session that the QR code success formula. And the idea is that it's always a 1-2 punch. You have where you see the QR code and the action that it causes. Now, as you can imagine, with all of these different options on here, the variables are just indefinite. I mean, you could, I don't even want to know how to do the math on that, but it really could be a lot of different options. I'm just going to show you a few today, and that's all you really need. You don't want to be doing QR codes for everything. You definitely don't want to be doing QR codes for things that you don't need to be doing them for. But again, once you get the concept down and know how to use the tool, etc., it's going to be a lot easier to figure this out and do these things and come up with new ideas. But just go with what I show you today as good, solid strategies, and then you can always add on. You always want to remember your goal, your end goal with what you're using the QR code for. Again, it's really easy to get excited about the technology and what it can do and how cute the codes can be and where you can put them and want to put them all over, but always remember your end result. What is it that you want to achieve from doing it, and stay with that, because again, it's very easy to get sidetracked from that. The 3 best goals I mentioned already: build your list, send traffic to your site, and close sales. And I'm going to show you examples of all of those today. It is also a great idea for generating app downloads, but we're really not talking about apps much at all in this course, so you really don't need to know that for this particular session. But of course, I couldn't really not say it because it is such a great use of the QR codes. Another really great use is watching videos. If you've got YouTube videos, having a QR code that can launch a video on YouTube is a good option as well. I also just have to remind you again about the fact that there's just one purpose for a QR code. The quick and easy connection. Make sure you're only doing things that are making things easier. Again, the technology will do a lot of things, but it doesn't mean you should. And I'll show you some examples of that as well, or tell you about them as we go along. And then it's between the physical world and a mobile device for a specific reason, which is your goal. All right, let's talk about how to drive traffic to your mobile site. This is pretty basic. And this is actually, what most people do with QR codes is link to a website. Now, unfortunately, most people are linking to a full-size site, a desktop site, and not a mobile site, a specific mobile landing page to be specific. You don't really want to be linking into the home page of your site. It's not likely that people want to, spend time browsing around, so use it for a specific purpose. This is a live example. All the QR codes you're going to see in this are live examples, so you can scan them right from your screen. I tested this on mine. I'm hoping that it works for you. If for some reason it doesn't, I apologize. Again, QR codes are not an exact science. So if you end up with an error or something like that, it's entirely possible that the technology has failed me, but I did test them all. What you can see with scanning this code is to read the 10 Commandments of Mobile Marketing. Now, you may have already scanned this from back in our 3 Steps to Mobilize course, but I wanted to put it in here as another example. It is a great way to do it. You'll also notice that what I've done here is put in the marketing words. So in other words, this slide is a little marketing ecosystem. When you put a code down, you need to say what it will do, how to go do it without the code. So give people an alternate way of doing it. And then you can let people know how to get a QR code reader, a QR scanning app. You can do that. It's not actually required to do that part of it, but it's kind of helpful if you think you might have an audience that doesn't know much. You'll notice I'm not going to put that in the rest of the ones, so you can kind of take that for what it's worth. But always tell people what's going to happen when they scan their code. 1, it's just courtesy, and 2, you have to give people a compelling reason. No matter how cute these things are or whatever, or appealing or sexy, they will not attract action if you don't say what it is, because people are kind of getting used to it and they're not really going to do something unless you give them a reason. So make sure you always put that in when you put the code down. It's really good. And then always give the alternate action. There will be people who are just never going to scan a code, or they don't have the scanner app yet, or they don't know how to do it. Remember back from some of the statistics I told you early on as well in this course that people are not using QR codes as much as we might think from how many you see. It is way lower, the number of people using QR codes, than go on the mobile web or whatever. It's growing exponentially all the time, but just keep in mind you may still have a little bit of a learning curve from your audience. This is basic. You put the QR code in a number of places in a physical world that makes sense and send them to your mobile landing page. Be sure you're not doing this at a time when they really could just be doing it on the desktop. You don't want to put a QR code on your computer screen to send them to see your mobile page when they're already on their big screen, that kind of thing. So that's the kind of thing to really watch out for, that you don't get excited by the technology and do something silly like that. All right, so that's the basic stuff. Let's look at some of the more exciting things, I think. Building your list. And by list, I mean your SMS list, your email list, and your social media following. So here's an example. So this QR code will actually send an email to my email list that you're going to want to be on, because it is the Mobilize WordPress customer list. Okay, so this is just for those of you who are in this course. This will put you onto my email list to subscribe to that email list so that you can get updates and information via email. Now, you may have already subscribed to this. I may have sent you something in advance, but what you can still do is to scan this code to see how this works. Pretty cool, because what I'm doing here is I'm actually giving you an easy way to do it right now. I'm not telling you in the webinar, okay, at some point in the future, you need to go do this. I'm saying right now, do it with your phone, which I know is sitting right next to you, and you're going to get on the list. You don't have to use your computer to go do something else. You can do it right from your mobile phone, and it's a pretty cool deal. Now, it will still send you a confirmation email that you're going to have to click a link to confirm that you want to be on the list. So it's a double opt-in list, so it's very safe. People can't, most people don't have other people's phones to scan codes anyway. And then you'll notice that you can also do this by just sending a blank email to Mobilize WP Cust, stand for customer, at aweber.com. So this is also something you can do if you're using Aweber. That information right there, the Mobilize WP Cust, is my list name. So whatever you've got named as your list will put someone onto that specific list. Pretty cool. The other thing that it does is what I've got it set up to do is to put a little subject line in that this came in from the QR code. Aweber actually emailed that to me as well when I did this as a test. So it's a way to also track how your QR codes are working. Now, again, a reminder, do this only when it's easier for the end user to do it. Like a business card, perfect. If you want people to sign up for your email list from a business card that you pass out, put the QR code on there and say, scan this to sign up for my email list. Perfect. They can do that, get on your email list and throw your card away, and you're both happy. And the printer's happy because you have to order more because they're just throwing them away. And a webinar just like this, it's a way to get people to do it. Or public speaking. You can have a big QR code on a slide, say sign up for my email list. People can be scanning it from the room. That's a little touchy. You're going to have to make it really big for it to work, so that, really be careful about that. But if you have a physical place, you're putting signs up anywhere, you can do that as well. And in advertising, let's say you take a printout from ad out somewhere, you can have people sign up for your email list from your QR code. Really, really cool. 2 places. I would not suggest you do this on your website because, one, they're already on your website. They can fill it out really easily with the full keyboard. Super easy. No need to make it any quicker because this actually makes it harder in that case. I would also not be doing this on social media because a lot of people are using social media from mobile devices. So when they're already on their mobile device, they can't scan the code with their mobile device. Plus, if they're not on mobile already, and they're on the desktop, then it's simpler to just click through and do it on the full-size site. So those are 2 places not to be using this as a QR code. Those same things apply to this technology. This is a QR code that will sign you up for my text messaging list. Now, again, you can just text in. You don't have to scan the code to do this. That's the alternate action right there. But it does make it easier. I didn't have to type in if you scanned it, you'll notice you didn't have to open your messages thing. You didn't have to type in the number. You didn't have to type in the keyword. It got it all set. All you have to do is press send. So that's what the QR code does for you in this example. It does actually make it easier if you use QR codes, but you want to keep the texting information in there because people can go ahead and sign up for it if they don't have a QR code reader. Same things apply for where you would put your email subscriber QR code to your text messaging QR code. So this is another really great thing. I want to also show you, take a look, just a quick glance at this code, and then take a look back at the other one. You'll notice that this other one is very complicated because it has more of a complex action. So the simpler the action you have, the simpler your code is, and the simpler it's going to be to work. So you want to try to keep everything as simple as possible in your codes. But it's also good to kind of just see that they're different. You can also build your follower list for social media. So this is a code here that will actually help you to like my Facebook page, the Mobile Marketing Profits Facebook page. Don't worry, you can scan it and then you still have to click a button to actually like it. So if you just want to see how the code works, you can do that. That works for all these codes. You can scan the codes to see what they do, and then you still have a chance to stop the action. So don't feel like you have to do all these things in order to see how the codes work. You do have a choice there at the end. But this is a really cool thing. What it does is it doesn't log you into Facebook at all. I'm not quite sure how it works, but what it does is it just brings up a very simple page that will say like Mobile Marketing Profits on Facebook and a little like button, and it's very simple and it works. I tested it with some other sites. I couldn't test this one exactly because I've already liked my own Facebook page, but I tested the process on another one. Pretty cool, really great way to do it, and this is really great especially for physical businesses who might want to put up a sign and have this in their place of business to have it be easy. I will caution you that the QR code tool that I use and will tell you about is doesn't really work that great for LinkedIn, Twitter, and Foursquare. Those actions are typically not easier. The LinkedIn one it tells you to download the app, which I did, but then I'm back, and then I'm in the App Store thing, and then when I clicked back and went into the link, the page isn't mobilized, so it was kind of a pain. The Twitter one, it brings it up that you can have it, so it will send a tweet, but I wasn't logged in on Twitter, so it was going to have me log into Twitter. Again, it just seemed like it was going to take, would be more, take more time. I didn't try the Foursquare one, but I'm assuming it's the same with the app situation. So use those ones with caution. All right. Are you ready for this one? I have to say I'm so excited for this one about closing sales with QR codes. And I have two examples for you. One code exactly, but two scenarios. First of all, here's an example of a QR code that will drive sales through a flyer. That's just a hypothetical flyer. It's a mock-up of a flyer that I found on Graphic River. So if you want flyer designs and templates, you can go to Graphic River. This is just a sample. And you'll see there's a QR code on there. And in this example, this flyer is for an awards night. And you could scan the code to actually RSVP and pay for your attendance at this award night. Now I want you to go ahead and scan this code. And what this is going to do is going to open up a PayPal sales, a PayPal shopping cart essentially. And it's for a fictional $1 item. So don't worry, if worst case scenario, you're going to end up sending me $1 if you go all the way through the process, which you won't, but because there's plenty of times to bail out. But that's your worst case scenario by scanning this and opening up PayPal. But what you'll see is that when you scan this, it puts PayPal open, and PayPal is an excellent mobile tool. Right away, you'll see that you can either log into PayPal or pay with a credit card. So you don't have to use PayPal. You can accept credit cards via PayPal. You have to have an account with PayPal in order for this to work. But I didn't have to do anything other than grab the buying link. So you can set it up so that you can, from a flyer, someone could say, yeah, I want to go to that. And instead of having to come home, log in, sign up online and pay, or call, or go online to buy a ticket or something like that, essentially this would take it straight from the flyer, straight into the PayPal link, and the person has bought. Now, through the PayPal process, there's ways for you to send an email to the person to give them information. It can also send them to a page, a mobile landing page. You need to make sure it's that to really coordinate that. So it's a pretty cool deal. And here's the idea that I think you're really going to like if you do any speaking and selling in the back of the room, or places where you fill out you have an order form that people fill out and then physically give you, and then you have to go charge their card later from the information that they filled out on the form, etc. I know I've done that a million times, and it's just a pain. I mean, I have to go fill out go up, log myself into my merchant account and enter all the cards. And while I'm always glad to do it, I've always thought there must be a better way. And there is, and it doesn't have to be, getting Squared or one of those, which are great mobile commerce tools. But again, that's something you have to do. Here's a way to have people process their own order. So essentially, you put your order form out there where people would fill out all their information, and they can handwrite it in, and they can pull their credit card out, and they can type, hand it in, and they can give it to you, and you can go through all that. Or you can have your order form, all that's still there, but have a QR code that links to the PayPal for what you're selling. They will go straight from the order form to the QR code to PayPal. Give them a mobile landing page receipt after they've paid that they can show you at the back of the room, and then you can deliver your physical products because they've already paid. Not only have you have captured all their information because they have to fill it out on the PayPal form, their name, address, everything, email, but they've actually processed their card. By the time they get their stuff from you, they have actually paid. And then it can either be physical product, or it can just begin the digital delivery. So what this can do is just turn it to an instant sale. Obviously, it can take away a little bit of the back of the room proof of people rushing to the back of the room to buy. But essentially, this is a really cool thing, I think, where you can use mobile to get the sale right on the spot. So I hope that idea is really cool for you. Now, I want to tell you, I didn't put in this slideshow. I just realized as I did it that I forgot to put in the slide where I was going to tell you the tools to use to make your QR codes. I'm just going to say them out loud now so that you've got them, but don't worry, I'm going to also put them in on the mobile tools and resources page, where they actually already are on the mobile tools and resources page at mobilizeyourwordpresssite.com/tools. They're linked to from there. Actually, I'm just going to let you go ahead and go there because I may add more later, and I don't want you to get in, not get all the best. So go to mobilizeyourwordpresssite.com/tools, and then that's where you can find the places that I actually go to generate these generate the codes, and you can do all of these there at that spot. You can do the codes elsewhere, but the place I like has all the features of everything in there. Okay, so lastly then here on one last little word of caution. Use your QR codes carefully. Make sure you check for ease of use. Actually run through them. This is part of number 3 there. Test them first. Make sure your codes work before you actually place them on anything or print them on anything or whatever. And then the other thing is don't overuse them, especially on one marketing piece. When I was teaching my class for the University of Virginia, one of the assignments was for people to find QR codes or find a mobile marketing tool in action. And one of my students, Paul, found was on a road trip, and he stopped at, I forget what state it was, I apologize, but one of the states that he went into the visitor center, and they had a giant poster, and they had 6 different QR codes, all with different actions on the one poster. That was like the classic overuse of QR codes. So again, just make sure you're using them sparingly. It's kind of like salt. Use them, if you put too much in, it really can be too much of a good thing. So use them carefully. Again, check to make sure you're actually making things easier, and test them first. So that said, we mentioned before early on that the QR codes are the icing, not the cake. Now you can see that in order to make the QR code do something, you have to have the other side ready, obviously in mobile. And at this point now, you're ready to go ahead and have the icing. The fun begins when you start to build your list. That actually was from a different slide, so I apologize I didn't get that fixed. But the fun begins when you really start to use QR codes and see how great they are. So I hope you had fun clicking through and scanning these codes as we went through. And you may want to follow this again. I hope I went slow enough so you had time to scan everything. But let me know how you're doing. Let me see some codes and tell me what's going on. So I'd like to see how this is all going for you. Have fun with those QR codes.